Tonight is the 7th of September, and this is the 7th night we are speaking on the Theragatha. Tonight should be the last part. We come to verse number 1091, Talaputta. These verses by the Arahant Talaputta are very, very, very nice. Group of 50 verses. When indeed shall I dwell alone, companionless in mountain caves, seeing by insight all existence as impermanent? This thought of mine, when indeed will it be? 1092. When shall I, a sage wearing a torn robe, dwell happily having gone to the wood? 1093. When, seeing by insight that this body is impermanent, a nest of death and disease, assailed by death and old age, shall I dwell alone in the wood, rid of fear? When indeed will it be? 1094. When shall I dwell, having taken a sharp sword made of wisdom, and having cut the creeper of craving, producer of fear, bringer of pain, twining around everywhere? When indeed will it be? 1095. When, suddenly taking the seer's sword made of wisdom, of fiery might, shall I, seated on the lion throne, suddenly break Mara and his army? When indeed will it be? 1096. When shall I be seen exerting myself in the assemblies by the good, the venerable ones who revere the Dhamma, seeing things as they are, with faculties conquered? When indeed will it be? 1097. When will weariness, hunger, thirst, winds, heat, insects and reptiles not assail me on Giribhaja, concerned with my own goal? When indeed will it be? 1098. When, with concentrated self, full of mindfulness, should I attain by wisdom to that which was understood by the great seer, the four truths, or the Four Noble Truths, which are very hard to see? When indeed will it be? 1099. When shall I, possessed by calmness, by wisdom, see innumerable sights and sounds, smells, tastes, things to touch, and mental phenomena as a blazing mass? When will this thought of mine be? 1100. When shall I, spoken to with abuse, not be downcast on that account, and when praised, not be pleased on that account? When will this thought of mine be? 1101. When shall I regard as no more than wood and grass and creepers these elements of existence and innumerable mental phenomena, both internal and external things? When will this thought of mine be? 1102. When will the black rain cloud with fresh water rain upon me and my robe in the wood, as I go on the path trodden by the seers? When indeed will it be? 1103. When, hearing in the mountain cavern the cry of the peacock, the crested bird in the wood, shall I, rising up, give thought to the attainment of the undying? When indeed will it be? 1104. When shall I cross over Ganges, Yamuna, Sarasvati, the Patala country, and the fearful Balava Mukha sea by supernormal power not impeded? When indeed will it be? 1105. When, like an elephant moving about without attachment, shall I tear asunder desire for the strands of sensual pleasure, being applied to meditation, avoiding all pleasant outward appearance? When indeed will it be? 1106. When, like a poor man stricken by debt, finding treasure after being oppressed by rich men, shall I be pleased, having attained the teaching of the great seer? When indeed will it be? 1107. For many years I have been begged by you, enough of this dwelling in a home for you. Why therefore are you urging me on, mine, now that I am a wanderer? 1108. Was I not begged by you, mine? On Giribhaja, those birds with variegated wings, greeting the thunder, which is the sound of Mahinda, will delight you as you meditate in the wood. 1109. Having given up all in the family circle, friends and dear ones and kinsmen, in the outside world, sport and delights and the strands of sensual pleasure, I have entered on this. Even then, are you not pleased with me, mine? 1110. This mine is mine alone, for it does not belong to others. What need is there of lamentation at the time of putting on arms? Seeing that all this is unstable, I went forth, desiring to win the undying state. 1111. The speaker of good utterances, the best of men, the very powerful charioteer of men who are to be tamed, said, since the mind is moving like a monkey, it is very hard to restrain for one who is not rid of desire. 1112. For sensual pleasures are variegated, sweet, delightful, to which ignorant individuals are attached. Seeking for renewed existence, they wish for pain, being led on by their mind, and banished to hell. 1113. Dwelling in the grove, which resounds with the cries of peacocks and herons, revered by leopards and tigers, give up longing for the body, do not fail, so you used to urge me, mine. 1114. Develop the meditations, the faculties and powers, the constituents of enlightenment, and the developments of concentration. Attain the three knowledges in the Buddha's teaching. So you used to urge me, mine. 1115. Develop the way for the attainment of the undying, leading on to salvation, plunging into the annihilation of all pain, eightfold, purifying all defilements. So you used to urge me, mine. 1116. Regard properly the elements of existence as pain, and abandon that from which pain arises. In this very world, put an end to pain. So you used to urge me, mine. 1117. With insight, see properly that impermanence is pain, that emptiness is non-self, and that misery is death. Restrain the mental wanderings of the mind. So you used to urge me, mine. 1118. Shaven-headed, unsightly, reviled, with only bowl in hand, begged among the families. Apply yourself to the bidding of the teacher, the great seer. So you used to urge me, mine. 1119. Go with well-restrained self, wandering in the streets among the families, with mind unattached to sensual pleasures, spotless like the moon on a clear full moon night. So you used to urge me, mine. 1120. Be a forest dweller, and one who lives on alms food. Be a cemetery dweller, and one who wears rags from a dust heap. Be one who remains in a sitting position, always delighting in shaking off. So you used to urge me, mine. 1121. Mine, when you urge me to the impermanent and unstable, you are acting in the same way as a man who, having planted trees, wishes to cut down that very tree at the root when it is about to fruit. Stop here for a moment. So now he's telling the mind, before I renounce, you told me all these nice things. Now I have renounced, you're telling me the opposite. 1122. Formless one, travelling far, wandering alone, I shall not do your bidding now. For sensual pleasures are painful, bitter, very fearful. I shall wander with my mind, turned only on quenching. 1123. I did not go forth because of bad luck, nor from shamelessness, nor because of a mere whim, nor because of banishment, nor because of my livelihood. But I agreed to your suggestion, mine. 1124. The state of desiring little, and the abandonment of disparagement, and the quieting of pain are praised by good men. So you urge me then, mine. But now you go according to your previous practice. 1125. Craving and ignorance, and various sorts of pleasant things, and pleasant sights, and happy experiences, and pleasing things, and the strands of sensual pleasure have been rejected. I would not be able to swallow back what has been vomited up. 1126. Everywhere I have done your bidding, mine. I have not made you angry in many births, and yet that which has its origin in the self is because of your ingratitude. There has been journeying on for a long time in the pain caused by you. 1127. Only you, mind, make us Brahmins. You make us Katyas or nobles. One day we become merchants or workers. Existence as a Deva too is because of you alone. 1128. Because of you alone we become Asuras. Because of you we become hell dwellers. Then one day we are animals too. Existence as a Peta too is because of you alone. 1129. Not now will you injure me again and again, time after time, showing me a mask, as it were. You sport with me as though with a madman, and yet how have I ever failed you, mind? 1130. Formerly this mind wandered where it wished, where it liked, as it pleased. Now I shall control it properly, as the hook holder or Mahut controls an elephant in rut. 1131. But the teacher made this world appear to me as impermanent, not firm, not essential. Make me enter the conqueror's teaching, mind. Save me from the great flood, which is very hard to cross. 1132. This is not as it was before for you, mind. I am not likely to return to your control. I have gone forth in the great seer's teaching. Those like me do not suffer destruction. 1133. Mountains, seas, rivers, the earth, the four directions, the intermediate points, the nadir and the sky, the three planes of existence are all impermanent and assailed. Where, having gone mind, will you delight happily? 1134. What will you do to one who has firmness as his aim, my mind? I am no longer under your control, mind. Never would anyone touch a bellows with a mouth at each end, much less the body flowing with 9 openings. 1135. In a cave and on a mountain crest, frequented and plunged into by wild boars and antelopes, or on a naturally pleasant space, or in a grove sprinkled with fresh water by rain. Having gone to your cave house, you will enjoy there. 1136. Birds with beautiful blue necks, with beautiful crests, with beautiful tail feathers, with beautiful wings of variegated feathers, greeting the beautiful sounding thunder, will delight you as you meditate in the wood. 1137. When the sky has rained, and when the grass is 4 fingers high, when the grove is in full flower like a cloud, I shall lie among the mountains like a tree. You will be soft for me like cotton. 1138. But I shall act as master. Let whatever is obtained be sufficient for me. Therefore I shall make you as supple as an unrelaxing man makes a bag of cat skin. 1139. But I shall act as master. Let whatever is obtained be sufficient for me. I shall bring you under my control by my energy, as a skilled hook holder an elephant in rut. 1140. With you well tamed and standing firmly, like a trainer with a straight running horse, I am able to enter on the blissful way, which is always frequented by those who guard the mind. 1141. I shall bind you to the meditation object by force, as one binds an elephant to a post with firm rope. You will be well guarded by me, well developed by mindfulness, and free from all existences. 1142. Having cut off by wisdom the follower of the wrong path, restraining him by application of mind, having put him back on the right path, having seen the passing away and the coming into existence of the origin, you will be the heir of him who proclaims the best. 1143. Mind, you led me around the world, as it were, under the influence of the fourfold distortion. Now you do not associate with the merciful great sage, the cutter of bonds and fetters. 1144. Like the deer roaming at will in the variegated grove, having entered the delightful mountain, wreathed in clouds, I shall rejoice there on the uncrowded mountain. You, mine, will certainly perish. 1145. Whatever the happiness men and women experience who live according to your desire and will, they are ignorant, being under Mara's control, delighting in existence, your servants, mine. So you see, this Talaputta, actually we have come across him, I think in the Sangyutta Nikaya. He was the manager of this show, what we call Tuahi, Tai Hei. He used to go from place to place, making this show, like our Chinese opera show. So one day he was in a certain place and he heard the Buddha was there, so he went to talk to the Buddha. And he asked the Buddha, he said, Bhagava, we actors, we have a saying, we believe that because we entertain people and make people laugh and happy, when we die, we will be reborn in the heaven of the laughing gods. He asked the Buddha, is it true? The Buddha said, don't ask me this question. Second time he asked the Buddha the same question. The Buddha again said, don't ask me. Third time he asked the Buddha, and the Buddha said, it seems like you won't take something like you won't take no for an answer. Then the Buddha said, actors who entertain people are reborn in the hell of laughing beings. Something like that. So, laughing in pain. So, when he heard that, he got a shock. And his tears came down. Then the Buddha said, I told you not to ask me 3 times. You still persist in asking me. Then he said, Bhagava, I'm crying not because of fear, but because I'm so angry that I've been cheated for so many years. I've been believing this lie because he believed the Buddha. Actually, it's not that all actors go to hell. Those generally actors, because they have fame, they have money and all that, so they don't keep the precepts. Like a lot of actors and actresses nowadays enjoy too much. They don't keep the 3rd precept, since sexual misconduct. And then they take drugs and liquor and all these things, go out of control. So this is the man, after listening to the Buddha, he could renounce. But when he renounced, he's so used to the entertainment world, his mind is cannot stop with all the thoughts and all the things. So he's telling his mind, keep telling his mind, last time you told me to renounce this and that, now you are. So it's very, very, very encouraging to see this. Arahants didn't have an easy way, just like now we are struggling, we think, so difficult. Arahants had maybe more difficulty than us, some of them. Okay, now we come to Mahamoggallana, 1146. Let us, living in the forest, living on alms food, delighting in whatever scraps come into our alms bowl, tear apart the army of death, being well concentrated inwardly. 1147. Let us, living in the forest, living on alms food, delighting in whatever scraps come into our alms bowl, knock down the army of death as an elephant knocks down a reed hut. 1148. Let us, living at the foot of a tree, persevering, delighting in whatever scraps come into our alms bowl, tear apart the army of death, being well concentrated inwardly. 1149. Let us, living at the foot of a tree, persevering, delighting in whatever scraps come into our alms bowl, knock down the army of death, as an elephant knocks down a reed hut. 1150. You little hut made of a chain of bones, sewn together with flesh and sinew, fie upon the evil-smelling body. This fie means shame, shame upon the evil-smelling body. You cherish those who have another's limbs. 1151. That means you value another being, another body. You bag of dung, tied up with skin, you demoness with lumps on your breast. There are 9 streams in your body which flow all the time. 1152. Your body with its 9 streams makes an evil smell and is obstructed by dung. A monk desiring purity avoids it as one avoids excrement. 1153. If any person knew you as I know you, he would avoid you, keeping far away as one avoids a cesspit in the rainy season. 1154. This is so great hero, as you say, ascetic, and here some sink down as an old bull in mud. 1155. For whoever would think of painting the sky with yellow or any other color, that is only a source of trouble. 1156. This mind, well concentrated inside, is like the sky. Evil-minded one, do not attack me as a moth attacks a bonfire. 1157. See the painted puppet, a heap of sores, a compounded body, diseased, with many bad intentions, for which there is no permanent stability. 1158. Then there was terror, then there was excitement, when Sariputta, possessed of many qualities, had been quenched. This one, I don't know where he refers to Sariputta passing away. If that is so, then Sariputta passed away before Mahamoggallana. 1159. Truly, the constituent elements are impermanent, subject to arising and passing away. Having arisen, they cease. Their quiescence is happiness. This one, I think, the Vichana, Anicca, Vata, Sankara, Upada, Vaya, Dhammino, this one. 1160. Those who see the five elements of existence as other and not as self, pierce the fine thing as a tip of hair with an arrow. 1161. And those who see the constituent elements as other and not as self have pierced the subtle thing as a tip of hair with an arrow. 1162. A monk should wander about as though smitten by the sword, with his head on fire as it were, mindful of the abandonment of desire for sensual pleasures. 1163. A monk should wander about as though smitten by the sword, with his head on fire as it were, mindful of the abandonment of desire for existence. 1163-64. Urged on by the one whose self was developed, who was bearing his last body, I shook with my big toe the palace of Megara's mother. Stop here for a moment. This palace of Megara's mother is the building in the Visakha's monastery. Visakha donated a piece of land. And the monks inside there were not practicing hard. So the Buddha was not happy with the monks, and the Buddha told this Mahamoggallana to frighten them. So he used his psychic power and he used his big toe, just shake the earth, and the whole building was as though struck by an earthquake. 1165. This is not referring to a slack thing. Quenching which releases all ties is not to be obtained by a little effort. 1166. This young monk, this supreme man, carries his last body, having conquered Mara and his elephant. 1167. The flashes of lightning fall upon the cleft of Vebara and Pandava, but gone to the cleft in the mountain, the son of the incomparable Venerable One meditates. 1168. Calm, quiet, with secluded lodging, the sage, the heir of the best of the Buddhas, is saluted by Brahma. 1169. Brahmin, pay homage to Kassapa, calm, quiet, with secluded lodging, the sage, the heir of the best of the Buddhas. 1170. But whoever might obtain 100 birds again and again among men, all of them birds as a Brahmin, versed in sacred knowledge, possessed of the Vedas, even if he were a scholar, having gone to the far shore of the three Vedas, he does not deserve the 16th part of his praise. 1172. Whoever has attained the 8 releases forwards and backwards before eating, then goes to beg. Do not attack such a monk. Do not destroy yourself, Brahmin. Make your mind favorably disposed towards the Venerable Arahant. Quickly pay homage to him with cupped hands. May your head not split open. 1174. He who is occupied with the journeying on does not see the true Dhamma. He follows a crooked road, a bad road leading downwards. 1175. Like a worm smeared with excrement, he clings to rubbish. Infatuated with gain and honor, Potila goes empty. Stop here for a moment. This Tucca Potila, there's a story in the Dhammapada commentary about this monk. He very learned in the Buddha's Dhamma, and he goes around teaching, but he does not practice what he teaches. So they call him empty-headed Potila, Tucha Potila. So he has gained an honor. 1176. But see this Sariputta coming, of good appearance, release on both sides, well concentrated inwardly. This release on both sides could refer to release by wisdom, release by mind. 1177. Without the dart, with fetters annihilated, with triple knowledge, having left death behind, worthy of a gift, unsurpassed field of merit for mankind. Just now I said this Sariputta could possibly this one be released by wisdom and by mind. But the commentary says that Sariputta is liberated by wisdom only. But anyway, even here it's not for sure because some of these verses have been tampered with. Like just now we heard about the four places, four realms in the four woeful plains. There should be 3 woeful plains. Just now we read 4. 1177. Without the dart, with fetters annihilated, with triple knowledge, having left death behind, worthy of a gift, unsurpassed field of merit for mankind. These numerous famous devas with supernormal powers, 10,000 devas, all with Brahma at the head, stand with cupped hands, revering Moggallana. 1179. Homage to you, thoroughbred of men. Homage to you, best of men. To you whose asavas are annihilated, you are worthy of a gift, sir. So you see here, the Arahants are the thoroughbred of men. Nobody can attain higher than Arahanthood, which is liberation. Because the Mahayanists, they say that the asavas, the Arahants have not finished their work. 1180. Worshipped by men and devas, arisen as the overcomer of death. He is not defiled by the constituent elements, as the lotus is not defiled by water. As constituent elements should refer to the 5 khandha. 1181. By whom the world, together with Brahma's heaven, is known 1,000-fold in a moment. That monk, having mastery in the strands of supernormal power and in knowledge of passing away and rebirth, sees the devatas in time. 1182. Sariputta, indeed, the monk who has reached the far shore, may be so supreme by reason of his wisdom, virtue and calm. 1183. In a moment I can fashion the bodily form, 100,000 crores of people. I am skilled in supernormal transformations. I am a master of psychic power. I'll stop here for a moment. This 1 crore, according to the dictionary, is 10 million. So 100,000 crores means a million or a trillion. So he can multiply his body, one body, and multiply into a trillion bodies. His psychic power is so fantastic. 1184. Being a master of concentration and knowledge, having attained perfection, the member of the Moggallana clan, firm in the teaching of the unattached one, with concentrated faculties, has cut asunder his bonds, as an elephant a rope of putti creeper. 1185. The teacher has been waited on by me. The Buddha's teaching has been done. The heavy load has been put down. That which leads to renewed existence has been rooted out. 1186. I have attained that goal for which I went forth from the home to the homeless state, the annihilation of all fetters. 1187. Of what kind was the hell where Dusi was boiled, having assailed the disciple Vidura and the Brahmana Kakusanda? 1188. There were 100 iron spikes, all causing separate pain. Of this kind was the hell where Dusi was boiled, having assailed the disciple Vidura and the Brahmana Kakusanda. 1189. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, you will come to grieve, Kanha. I'll stop here for a moment. This Kanha, the dark one or the black one, refers to Mara. So the 3 verses I just read comes from the Maratajanya Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. This Mara was disturbing the Buddha, our Buddha Sakyamuni, he was disturbing this Mahamoggallana. This Mahamoggallana was walking meditation in his room, was walking suddenly, or maybe outside his kuti. Suddenly he felt his stomach very heavy, as though something inside, as though you're suddenly pregnant. So he quickly went inside his kuti and sat down, because these arahants, even they have psychic power, they have to attain samadhi before their psychic powers come. So he sat down and very quickly entered samadhi, and he saw Mara inside his stomach. So he told Mara, "Get out, Mara, what are you doing inside my stomach?" And Mara thought to himself, how can he know so quickly that I'm inside him? Even if I entered his master's body, even his master wouldn't be able to know so quickly, which shows that our Mahamoggallana's psychic power is fantastic. Then Mahamoggallana told him, Mara, you just thought, and then he told Mara exactly what Mara thought. And again asked Mara to go out. Then Mara had no choice, knew that he could read his mind. Then he went out, stood at the door there, leaning against the door, and using his psychic power, trying to shield himself. And then Mahamoggallana told him, "You are standing at the door and you think I can't see you. I can see you." Then told him not to disturb the Buddha's disciples, and told him, "Your mother was such and such a name, and your mother's brother was such and such a name. And he also, previous life, the previous Mara Dusi, he said he disturbed the Buddha Kakusanda. And because he disturbed the Buddha Kakusanda and his disciples, he was reborn in hell, where he suffered for a long time with a human face and a fish body or something like that. Or a fish body and a human head, fish head and a human body, I'm not sure. So the description here, he said Dusi, Mara Dusi was boiled in hell for a long time. And when he was not boiled, he was poked with these 100 iron spikes and all that. And then this Mahamoggallana said that Mara Dusi in the previous Mara called Dusi was me. Told the present Mara, he said that uncle of yours was me in a previous life. So in other words, telling you, don't play a fool. I was with Mara before also. 1190. Mansions lasting for an aeon, standing in the middle of a lake, the color of beryl, brilliant, shining, radiant. There many nymphs dance of different colors. This one refers to, he says, because of his psychic power, he can see in the deep ocean, there's this palace of the Nagas, the snake spirits, and Naga Devis there, they like to dance, and they sway with the waves like that, very sensual. So he said he can see all these things. So he said that if a monk has all these psychic powers, you don't disturb him, otherwise he'll be going down to hell. 1191. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, you will come to grief, Kantha. 1192. Who, urged on by the Buddha, with the Sangha of monks watching, shook with his big toe the palace of Megara's mother. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, you will come to grief, Kantha. 1194. Who with his big toe shook the Vajayantha palace and supported by psychic power made the Devatas tremble. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, you will come to grief, Kantha. This one refers to a time when he went to the palace of Sakadevaraja, and he saw Sakadevaraja was enjoying life with his tens of thousands of Devis. So he wanted to sort of shake this Mara out, this Sakadevaraja out of his complacency. So he also used his big toe and shook the ground, and the whole Deva palace was shook terribly. 1196. Who inquired of Sakka in the Vejayanta palace, "Do you know, sir, the freedoms which come from the annihilation of craving?" To him, Sakka asked the question, answered truthfully. 1197. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, you will come to grief, Kanha. 1198. Who asked Brahma before the assembly in the Sudama hall, "Have you even now, sir, that view which formerly was yours? Do you see the radiance in the Brahma world passing away?" 1199. To him Brahma asked the question, answered truthfully, "I have not, sir, that view which formerly was mine. I see the radiance in the Brahma world passing away. How should I say today, I am permanent, eternal?" This one refers to another sutta where this Mahabrahma, he had this wrong view that because he has been living in that heaven for so long, he thought he was permanent, he was not going to die. And the Buddha went to him and at first he didn't believe he didn't want to believe the Buddha. And when the Buddha tried to advise him, he thought his psychic power was greater than the Buddha. So he said, "I will disappear from you, see whether you can see me or not." And then he tried to disappear, he could not disappear because the Buddha was controlling his mind. And then the Buddha told him, "Now I will disappear from you." Then he thought, he said, "You go ahead." And he thought the Buddha cannot disappear, but the Buddha suddenly could not see, could hear the Buddha's voice and all that. And then he got a shock. All the Brahmas got a shock because to them, they haven't seen any being with greater psychic power than the Mahabrahma. And then to convince them further, the Buddha emitted light. Because their light, the Brahmas, these Brahmas, their light is very bright. The minimum brightness they have, one Brahma, the light can reach 1,000 world systems. And some can reach 10,000 world systems. And the greatest is 100,000 world systems. Their light can go so far. But the Buddha emitted light which was so bright that their light became nowhere. So when the Buddha did this, four of the Arahants who Arahants are never asleep. So they knew what was happening. They flew there and they sat cross-legged beneath the Buddha, and all four of them emitted light. I think Mahakapina, Mahakassapa, Mahamoggallana, Anuruddha, probably four of them, with the greatest psychic powers. That's why I said, do you see the Brahma world passing away, the radiance of the Brahma world passing away, no more. 1201. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, he will come to grief, Kanha. 1202. Who by release has attained the peak of great Mount Meru, I think, the wood of Puba Videha, and the men who sleep on the ground. 1203. Whatever monk, disciple of the Buddha, knows this, having assailed such a monk, he will come to grief, Kanha. 1204. Truly a fire does not think, I shall burn the fool, but the fool is burned, having assailed that burning fire. 1205. Even so, Mara, having assailed the Tathagata, you will burn yourself like a fool touching fire. 1206. Having assailed the Tathagata, Mara acquired demerit. Do you think, evil one, my evil is not maturing? 1207. Evil is heaped up for you for a long time, as you do it, Endmaker. Keep away from the Buddha, Mara. Place no hope in monks. 1208. So the monk censured Mara in the Besakala grove. Then that Yakka, dejected, vanished on the spot. What he means by place no hope in monks is that don't hope that you can influence the monks' minds. So you can see from these verses how great is the psychic power of Mahamoga. Hope that you can influence the monks' minds. So you can see from these verses how great is the psychic power of Mahamoggallana.